Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here is Huck and Big Nate.
Straight out of the hospital into the show. Welcome to another edition of Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store. Full disclosure, I am not straight out of the hospital. That was a few weeks ago. However, it was important to me that we brought Kyle into this one, and we talked about some things. Huck and I missed a show a couple weeks back.
Did we? I don't even remember.
We did.
Good thing about old age.
I, I had some stuff going on in my life, and I ended up in the ER unplanned. We'll talk about that throughout this show. But first and foremost, before we get ahead of ourselves, Kyle, welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
I didn't ask.
I I know.
I just welcomed you.
I told you anyways.
So
It's so rude.
these beers come courtesy of Kyle, who is my hero for a lot of reasons that we'll talk about throughout this show. What do you got there? Kyle and Huck, they're sharing.
We're sharing the same shirt and the same beer. Well, they're not exactly the same shirt, but they're close.
On the camera, it looks very similar.
It's perfect. What do you got?
All right. We have the Distill Brewery Spicy Pickle Sour Beer made with Sucker Punch Pickle Brine.
It's nasty, but I'm going to drink it because it's good for me.
You've already tried it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got the Distill Dill Pickle Sour Beer. This is not the spicy dill. This is just the regular dill made with Sucker Punch Pickle Brine. Of course,
Sucker
it
punch.
is not necessarily like it's that whole situation where all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Yeah.
This is technically a Goza. It's part of their Wild Sour series. The tart, citrusy flavors of a distilled Goza ale combined with the unmistakable, zesty, garlicky flavor of a Sucker Punch dill pickle to create a uniquely delicious knockout flavor experience.
That's easy for you to say.
Percent ABV. I'm very excited about this. Of course, this show is all about me, and I don't give a damn, Huck.
I know you don't, and that's fine. I just want to correct you from your earlier comment that there's never a planned visit to the emergency room. You said it was unplanned, but there's never a planned one.
That's true.
Trust me on this. I've been in the emergency room in 70 years multiple times. Never planned any one of them.
So, I wish I could say you were right. However,
Oh, mercy. Okay.
there is drug-seeking behavior.
Oh,
And
yeah.
junkies will plan trips to the ER.
But
That's
you're
something that's
not-
going to come up on this show. We're going to talk
You're
about my whole
not that
experience.
person.
I think
Okay.
Huck meant the average person doesn't have a.
No, mine was 100% unplanned, and
Yeah. All of mine have been.
so Huck was kind enough to bring me a hospital gown, and
I did bring you that.
very
I've
stoked
had a
on-
lot of those.
I'm so comfortable right now.
I've spent more time in the hospital in the last 5 years than most people ever in their lives. So there's that. I have a lot of hospital gowns. You want a different version? I might have one.
Does it come in black?
No, actually, I'm thinking back, but it might have just been my vision at the drugs and shit. I said that again.
So, this was the Friday after the Metallica show. I ran out of some meds, had to go pick some up, had to go to the doctor. Fine. They run my blood pressure,
Mhm.
as they always do, and my heart rate is through the roof. My blood pressure is super high.
What was your heart rate?
At that point, it was 221
Load and go.
beats per
That's what
minute.
you say in the ambulance business.
Well, they tried to get me to take an ambulance. I'm too damn stubborn for
Load
that.
and go,
I'm gonna pay
baby.
that
Load and go.
So,
to pay. Don't worry about it.
well, yeah, if you give them a fake name, but they already had all my information. Like that wasn't going to go well. So I called my wife and I was like, so I'm going to come home, pick up some stuff. They need me to go to the ER. I get to the ER. We're still at 221. Blood pressure's still super high. And it was like stage 2 hypertension. I can't remember the exact numbers. I just
Right.
remember that 221.
Yeah,
being
you don't
the heart
remember
rate.
the
So-
blood pressure over 200, they probably would have made you take the ambulance. It's probably under 200
It-
for your top number.
I could probably find it out, but they put the EKG hookups on me, which, by the way, I think I finally, after all this time, gotten all that glue off.
Yeah. Oh
The
my
adhesive
God.
they use is just absurd.
I feel that.
And they monitored me overnight. They had me like they did a CT, they did all the scans they possibly could. They did a chest X-ray. In the midst of all this, my heart rate's super high. One of my pupils doesn't dilate right. So I had a nurse come in, shine the light in my eyes. He's like, one of his eyes is just super
You have a
wide.
brain bleed.
That's what a
Yeah.
normal person would think.
I'm an EMT. I know this stuff. Your eye doesn't dilate. You got problems.
No, he started grilling me and like accusing me of being in there for drug seeking behavior. It's like,
Oh,
bitch, I take aspirin maybe twice a year.
he should have said we
Like,
need to do a scan of your head. That's what he should have said.
Well, apparently he was a trainee.
Okay.
I found out because I hear him go out in the hallway to like he had made this big discovery. He would crack the case, gonna end drug abuse in the New River Valley.
Crack. That's what. Oh, never mind. The case was about.
And the other nurse is like, he's a father of three, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. He has been here before, and it's usually with his kids taking care. Like, no, you're not going to do this. So he was taken off the case. Like, he was like, you're not allowed to go back in that room. And of course, I heard this whole conversation play out in the hallway.
Oh,
Fine,
yeah.
good. To hell with that guy. That made me angrier than anything else.
Probably didn't help your blood pressure or your heart rate either.
No. It's like I'm clearly something is very wrong, and so they do the chest CT, the chest X-ray, and they looked and looked and looked and decided that I had a pulmonary embolism.
Mm.
And the doctor like came in, shut the door. I'm like, oh God, I'm dying tonight. What the hell? She's like, I just want to talk to you. You came in, you're going to be okay. If you didn't come in, this possibly wouldn't be a conversation that you were having with anybody. Possibly you would not be talking to anybody. Possibly you wouldn't be walking. She's like, we found a blood clot in your lungs. It's pulmonary embolism, and we're going to start a dosage of blood thinners immediately. Okay. So we take the blood thinners, and then all night I had to walk around the ER, hooked up to an O2 monitor and a blood pressure monitor, and just make sure that my O2 didn't drop. Which it didn't. Mercifully, like they let me leave, but it's like it was a ambulatory referral to a hematologist and an oncologist. I'm waiting to hear back about that. Exactly what's going to play out, but according to my primary care physician, I'm on blood thinners the rest of my life. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, let me give you my perspective on that.
You're gonna ask me which vaccine I got. It was the Johnson and Johnson.
No.
Everybody's asked me that. It was the blood clot vaccine, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but I thank you for saying that because people need to hear it. But what I was going to say was that I've had a lot of doctors tell me a lot of things that were going to be the rest of my life, and practically none of them are going to be. Maybe, I'm wearing an oxygen monitor right now, but am I wearing oxygen? No. If I need to, it's right there on the floor below me where I stepped on the thing and can put the dirt up my nose. That's
Just
okay.
the dirt right up your nose.
I don't care because I'll live. But what I'm saying is you get to decide a lot of things. And one of them is get healthy, and I've lost 50 pounds. I go to the gym. I'm going to be 70 years old or maybe, soon. And it's like, you get to decide. Just because they tell you that doesn't mean it's true. They're telling you, it's like the weatherman. He's wrong more than 50% of the time. Doctors, I think, are about the same.
That's been kind of an ongoing. That's been a hard pill to swallow. But it is something those first 2 weeks on blood thinners were absolute nightmares. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning. I woke up in just an exhausted agony. I've now finally like got my energy back, and it's like almost to this point in my brain, I'm fine. We're gonna see what happens, but
Yeah, I think
for right now,
you're gonna be all right.
I'm young. They're calling it unprovoked.
Well, the thing
I'm youngish. I'm not as young as you, Kyle. You dick.
I know.
you're a lot younger than me. I'll give you that.
I think right now at this point though, you could outrun me for sure, Huck.
I can hardly run. I can actually run, but not very well. I dream about running.
So we brought in Kyle on this one because
He's the man.
he is the man throughout the entire ordeal. I mean, there were 2 weeks where I was maybe my max day at work that I could make it was 2 hours.
Sounds about right.
That's more than I do every day. So there.
Kyle held down the fort like a champion.
I did my best.
You did a fantastic job, and I'm so very appreciative of you and everything you did. And actually, this beer we're drinking that Huck's not enjoying
I love it. It's great.
came to my house on Memorial Day, courtesy of Kyle.
I feel like it's healthy.
And when I left it behind, I didn't expect it to be a Tuesday episode.
I had already had something in mind. We'll talk about that more on the next round, but it was also one of those when you brought it up. For me, the best beer I've ever had was the dill pickle goza. Pickle me, Rick, from Right Mind Brewing, which no longer exists. So this is absolutely perfect, and I'm very appreciative. I also need to talk about Huck's contributions because Huck, immediately was very concerned and offered to come in and dub stuff, produce stuff
Yeah, like that would
with,
work. But
with no training. But the
I've been
offer
here
was
for
there.
10 years. I can probably do some things.
So you could probably do some things. He immediately wanted to help. So it just seemed like a perfect, like, you guys were my two biggest cheerleaders, and everything you both did meant so much to me. So thank you.
Well, you're so
Sorry, I
hot,
couldn't have
so
gotten you a
most of
better
it is
beer.
successful. Heck
We did
yeah,
nothing right.
we did it right. We saved your life. You owe us something. Beer, probably.
Beer. Well, you're drinking it. I mean, technically,
I
Kyle
was
got it.
looking for some better beer.
Well, we'll see what happens in the next round.
There you go.
We
you
are.
wear that. You wear that hospital gown very well, by the way.
He's showing a little shoulder too. Look at
Yeah, look at
I did keep my shirt on
You shouldn't have.
below the waist,
They don't let you keep any
butt ass
yeah.
naked.
Yeah, they don't let you keep it all that on at the hospital. They'll ask you like, dude, dude, I've been laying here for a month unconscious. Do whatever you
I'm
need.
going to be entirely honest with you. They asked me if I wanted a gown
Yeah.
in the ER, and I was like, not really. They're like, well, can you take your shirt off? So I was allowed to sit there with my shirt off. They're like, if something happens and you like code, we're going to have to cut your pants off. All right, well, fine. At that point, I don't think I'm going to give a crap. They did not make me wear a hospital gown in the hospital.
I actually have those scissors, the specials, because I was EMT, and the special pants cutting off scissors. It'll cut anything off.
Well,
And I got left-handed once because I'm left-handed.
I say you're a southpaw.
I am a southpaw. I'm in my right mind. Speaking of right mind brewing, which you mentioned a moment ago.
Dill pickles, baby.
Bring it around. Bring it around.
All right, let's rate these, and then I'm going to
You
pick a
don't want me to rate
song,
this.
and then we'll be back. Of course, no, I do want you to rate it. We're going to average the scores. I'm Big Nate Danger
I'm a Huck's
on
beer
Untapped.
buzz.
Your Huck's Beer Buzz.
K-Dog 1053.
K-Dog.
All right, so
W.
I'm going to let Kyle go first with the spicy dill.
W. Go
So
with it.
I've had both of these before. And the one you've got, I rated a 5. It's the first 5 for Untapped. This one, spicy's really good. I didn't like it as much, so I give it a 4.75.
Okay. What about you, Huck?
I'm a big fan of Death Still Brewing. I mean, I actually have several of those in my refrigerator right now waiting for me to decide whether we're going to bring them here or drink them at home. That's 2 sides. This is like, oh my gosh. I mean, I want to like it. Kind of like, the girl that's been chasing you around. She finally goes out on a date, and you're like you, babe. 3.75. Sorry.
That's a decent score. That's better than I expected from you. I kind of knew you weren't going to like this round.
Pickle. I like pickle.
From the way you were talking, I was expecting much
Yeah.
lower.
No, I'm not a butthead. Well, I am, but I try to be fair. This is for a dill pickle beer. This is pretty good. They did it well, but not my
For
style.
a
I'd like
dill
to
pepper
try
beer,
that one.
like he's had a bunch.
At least one.
So, like I said, Kyle was kind enough to bring this to me at my house on Memorial Day. I already know what the spicy is. The spicy's a 5 for me. I like the spicy better than the dill. That being said, the dill is a 4.75. for the longest time, for a large period of my life, I've claimed the ultimate hangover cure is in fact pickle juice.
No,
So
I
if you've
agree.
already got it built into the beer, you're
Fair
starting
enough,
ahead of
fair
the
enough.
game. So
Of course, we all know that the best hangover cure is more alcohol.
hair of the dog. That's true. That will do it for you. We're gonna get back into the rock. We'll be back with more hospital themed Brewsday Tuesday on 105.3 The Bear.